So hello everyone. We're back with another business update for Kim and Patricia. So let's dive straight in, right? Kim, do you want to share a bit what has happened in the past 4 weeks?
Yeah, sure. It's been I feel like I'm always saying this. Every time we get on here, I hear myself saying it's been a really busy full weeks. It just is when you start your own business, right? You don't know what you don't know, and so there's been a lot of learning. I've had an uptick in clients, which has been really, really fun. And for me, the thing that gets even more fun with it is as you have repeat clients, you can see their progress and can see like where the thread started and then where it continues on to go. So that's been really cool. I decided to go ahead and finalize some dates and pull the trigger on the Theorafa Phase 1 training. So that's coming up June 11th through 14th. So it's like all of a sudden I realized, oh, I got to get myself in gear and get some things done. And then
We
I
haven't talked about that yet, I believe.
No, maybe not so much. It was kind of like on the radar several months back, and then now it's like all of a sudden it's here. I was telling a friend the other day, I kind of felt like all of a sudden I just kind of woke up from like a sleepwalking or something. Not that I really was, but I think life had just been busy and full, and I was doing some different healing modalities for myself for some sinus issues that I'd had. And so I think all of those things combined just made other things kind of go to the background. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, here we are. So to more talk about the Theorafa training. So it's another modality that I'm certified in. There's actually 3 phases. This is going to be the phase 1 training, but it's so exciting because it is the first time that it's ever opened up to online. Ever since before, it's always had to be in person, grab an arm to do the muscle testing. But this time we're going to incorporate the remote muscle testing like what you and I do. So it's really exciting. Theorafa, for those who may not be familiar, it means God heals, and it is a Christian framework healing modality to identify trapped emotions, help release them, and then also identify any type of subconscious agreements that may have been made and then break those as well. So it's really fascinating work, and ultimately where I get drawn a lot in my client sessions as well.
Nice. Yeah, be sure to send me the link so that we can share it with people, right?
I will. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course, of course. Yeah, so that's coming up for you. That's super exciting.
Yeah, so that's coming up. And then the other big news is I finally maxed out all the storage on my old phone. So I'm coming to you live today on a brand new phone, still learning all of the nuances of that, but grateful to have some additional capacity. I was telling you before we started recording, I went walking with a friend this morning, and I was so grateful for the camera on this phone because there was a hawk that landed on the ground just a few feet in front of us, and I was able to capture it on video, and then it flew right towards us. And so it's really fun. I will probably post it on my page later today. So if anybody wants to see that, head on over there and check it out.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So what about you? Let's turn the tables and see what you've been up to for the past month.
Yeah, so as announced, I started with the newsletters, and it's a really good exercise for me to, it's just, I don't know if my brain is old school or so. I just love to sit down and wrap my head around a topic and think about what could be interesting for my audience, right? So I find that very, yeah, rewarding, and it's a lot of fun. And I think we're already at newsletter 4 this week. Yeah.
Wow. And I've read them. They are very good. You're quite talented at writing, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not gonna lie, of course I use AI, right?
You
To
know,
polish these things and to
sure.
criticize me and to challenge me, right? So the ideas are mine, and the text is mine, but I mean, of course I make it easy for myself and use those tools, right?
Well,
Yeah.
and I don't think there's any shame in that, right? It makes us better. It enables you to get content out that you may otherwise not be able to in as timely of a manner as what you would want to, and so your subscribers benefit from that.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're
And it
welcome.
also really helps with when you ask it, criticize it from the lens of a teacher or so, right? I mean, a spiritual teacher or a teacher or someone who's really versed in the topic, right? So that they challenge me with certain arguments I'm making. So that's really fun to geek out with your favorite AI on topics you like. Yeah. And
That's
then
fun.
one thing I've always felt a little bit not so well versed in was in belief systems. So just a quick recap that we work in our sessions, we can work, of course, physical ailments, their somatic connections through to the psyche, then survival resource brain patterns, stuck emotions, trauma responses, and then another one is belief systems. And I always had a little bit of a difficulty to wrap my head around belief systems. So I stumbled over Theta Healing because they dig really deep into belief systems. And only later I figured out, oh, that's a totally new modality. And it is also faith-based, interestingly, but it doesn't, I mean, as long as you believe in a creational force, it's not limited to one God. Let's put it like that. So as long as you believe in one creational force, you can do it. And it's also, I mean, as it already says, like theta healing, you meditate yourself in a hypnotic theta kind of brain space and work from that space on clients. Also
Wow.
with a little bit of compassionate inquiry style that you dig deeper into those belief systems where they originate from and so on and so on. So, and they have quite a lot of courses. So spontaneously, I took a seminar last week in the basic course from them and got certified. So yeah, that was really intense and a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm not sure if this is why I'm still drained, but yeah, I'm still quite tired because it's intense. We were only 4 students, so there was no hiding inside a big group, and it was six hours per day. So we were full on, and it's really fascinating how fast you can learn that with a good teacher. Yeah.
That sounds incredible. What were like a couple of like your takeaways, or did you have any aha moments throughout that training?
Um, I mean, I was really skeptical at the beginning, and the teacher threw us in the cold water within the first 5 minutes, right? She guided us through the meditation that connects you with that creational force. And then in pairs, we had to do body scans on other people. And it was so weird. I was scanning one of the other students in the class, and I felt like I saw something, I perceived something, I can't describe it properly, that something is on her left chest, inside her left breast. And it
Wow.
was just like, and then when we were debriefing it, I was like, yeah, I got a weird thing on your left breast and your left chest. And she's like, yeah, I have a pacemaker. What?
Wow.
And then since then, I'm just convinced. I just trust it.
Wow. That is huge.
And the wiring goes actually through her, I mean, not, I mean, yeah, at the bottom of her breast, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, what?
Ah, that's incredible.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. And I mean, you cover so much ground. What is still a little bit spooky for me is future readings.
Mm,
And I mean, there were people in the course who see real images while I saw emotions. And
wow.
I mean, you have to be careful when you do that stuff, right? Because it can really drain you as well. Because I had to give her the bad news, like you will go through a stretch of dark times. That's what I see. And
Mm,
then the teacher was like, "Well, you can't leave her like this. Go up again to that state and ask and try to find out how long this will take." Right,
okay.
this
Yeah.
phase. So that's
Yeah.
why like, so she was really a good teacher we had. And I mean, you go through everything. even how to modify DNA, how to cure diseases. Um, yeah, and then of course also how to clear emotions, how to download new emotions in case you never had a reference point for things, for
Mm.
example. And then also belief systems, how to clear belief systems and yeah, clear those things up.
Wow. Did you have another student work on you then without
Yeah,
doing things?
constantly, constantly. I
Yeah.
mean, we were 6 hours, 3 days, and four students. So it was like you work in pairs constantly, right?
Yeah. No wonder you're
Yeah.
feeling a little tired today. That I'm excited to hear how that unfolds and experiences that you personally had while you're doing it, as well as what clients moving forward have as with that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that segues already in the next portion of our recording. That's yeah, I think it's a nice habit we started now to talk about client cases. Do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So I had a really interesting experience recently. We were going through a session just as normal with a client, and I've seen her multiple times before, and so it wasn't like it. We both came from a place of understanding, and nobody was freaking out. But I tell you what, we were through halfway through the session, and we were really dealing with trying to think exactly what the topic was. It was a lot of medical stuff, a lot of feeling trapped, a lot of not feeling like she had a voice in things ultimately. And I'd gotten through a lot of different emotions that had been trapped. We had neutralized those and got to a point where the muscle testing, like I got no, there was everything I tested was no, 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 no. And then I leaned in and I'm like, okay, usually like if all else fails, it'll like hit on, okay, we'll pray about it. That's when you need to just do a prayer together to, push through whatever or clear through whatever we need to get through. And it wasn't prayer. And so I just was still for a minute and I tested, do I know what needs to happen here? And I got no. And I tested, does she know what needs to happen? And I got yes. And so I'm like, okay, I explained to the client, well, this is what I'm getting. Do you have any thoughts that are coming up to you right now as we're having this conversation at this point in the session? And she just kind of looked at me with a blank face and she's like, no, I really don't, I don't have anything. Well, interestingly enough, as soon as she answered, like it shifted, whatever needed to shift, shifted, and I was able to move on throughout the rest of the session. However, it happened a second time, same thing. And I was really like, okay, wait a minute. And I tested, is this the same root, same reason as the first time? And I got yes. And then all of a sudden it just came to me intuitively or Holy Spirit discernment that it was two ages for her, age 4 and age 7. They never felt like they were heard. So it just
Mm.
really was a matter of little her wanting to be asked, what do you think? What do you want? What do you need? Because those wants
Mhm.
and needs had never been acknowledged previously.
Mhm.
And it was so fascinating to me because within our survival resource pattern rewiring that we do with the modality that you and I share, um, that will often create a space for those types of things to be addressed. But this was within an entirely different framework of the session that we were in. Like I had tested, did we need a survival resource pattern visualization? And
Yeah.
it was no. So it's just really fascinating to me. Another layer of how we don't have to have all the answers, but trust the process and trust that it will unfold in the manner in which it needs to unfold. And that's also where our experience as not just as practitioners, but I would say as intuitive beings, as intentional humans, as individuals who will embrace and hold space to allow what needs to unfold.
Mm.
Um, but it through further conversation with the client, it really resonated with her and it made so much sense that age 4 and age
Mm.
7 were ages that she really was never asked what her thought, opinion, or need was. And so it was just a really cool
Mm.
experience.
Yeah. So subtle yet so profound again, right?
Yes. And transparently, that had never happened to me in a session before. Like we were
Yeah.
like everything was testing no, everything. And so it was just really cool to experience as a practitioner, just to be able to lean into it will, whatever is supposed to happen will happen. It will reveal itself. It will come up, even if it's subtle.
Yeah. Beautiful. And then being able to make sense together to what happened and piece it together. Um,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you. It was
Yeah.
really cool, and I'm glad that we're having this conversation today to get to share that, because the other part of that is for clients to just be aware that sometimes practitioners will ask you what you are sensing, because sometimes that's exactly what your subconscious is needing to be asked. So it's just kind
Yeah.
of a reminder.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I mean, also something yeah, that's emphasized in theta healing is the co-creation effect and the free agency we all
Mhm.
have, right?
What about
So
you?
yeah, what about me? I had a really funny, weird session the other day, and it was actually yesterday, and it was with a male friend, and I was like, "Ooh, this will be a hard one." But he just did not stop talking. It felt like I pulled a plug and he just shared what's going on, of the things he can't let go of. That was the topic, right? And it was really hard to moderate this monologue because he already went to quite a few long stretch of his own processing and also therapy. So with the therapist, I assume, and also with his own sensing, he made quite a few sense of what happened in the past, like neglect and manipulation, and yeah, also feeling exploited and used by family members, let's put it like that, and also rejected by family members ultimately. And he was so far ahead in his sense making that he had for everything a rational explanation and what it was good for. But it was clear that he's still stuck in the story because he can't let go of it. So that was a hard one where you can see, well, I'm sorry to be so critical, where like, yeah, therapy might have helped for the sense making, but he's clearly still stuck in that story. So what are
Yeah.
you going to do with someone who comes up with his own rational explanations for everything, and that it allowed him to persevere through all of this? And now that he appreciates people who respect him so much more, even, and that he can say that he earned and deserved everything in his life on his own terms. He didn't get a nice financial cushion from his home like it was promised to him, you know? So he had made his own sense making, but on the emotional side, he was still stuck. And I had a hard time to channel him into like, well, but what do you feel? What do you still really feel? What does the inner 11-year-old still feel? How did that feel when yeah, you didn't get what was promised to you as an 18-year-old? And I had a really hard time because he came up with all the time like, yeah, it wasn't the fault of my relative, and you know what I mean, that he constantly had an explanation for it and how it made him better ultimately. Does that make
So it
sense?
sounds like, yeah, it sounds like that's really maybe the root is the fact that he is compensating and making up the stories so that he can have that reason for all of the things that he experienced. Is that what you
Yeah, and
ultimately
circling and
found? Or
circling and
yeah,
circling, yeah, in the story, right? And then I was really grateful to have the new modality theta healing, because I knew that there is some survivor resource brain pattern involved, but even in that process he kept on spinning and pulling out of it, you know.
yes.
So I was like, okay, I was muscle testing. Can I go deeper here in that SRP thing? I got to know, and then I yeah, I was I was switching to Theta Healing and was in the process. You call that download. You cancel, resolve, release stuff you don't want, and then you download stuff you prefer to do. And it's always permission based, right? For everything you download into the client, you remove and you download into the client. Each time you ask for permission.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's
I
what
think
we
that
did. And this is also when the field shifted and he became calm.
uh,
Yeah. Well, that
that's
was really, I mean, I'm lucky because I know that we are friends since more than 10 years, right? So it was a good opportunity for me to practice this to have a client that is hard to, how do you call that, moderate or steer or
mhm,
navigate through a session.
mhm.
So I'm glad that I had that experience with him, with a good friend.
That's fantastic. I am really
Yeah.
curious what he shared with you after the session as far as what he experienced with between the two, kind of the theta healing and then the other conversation and modality that you've been using.
Well, he's proud,
Mhm.
So I sensed something shifted, but it's also something, what it's interesting, in theta healing, at least with the course I did, you don't go too much into an integration phase. It's also what Jennifer told us. It's not like you want to distract the client, but you want to shift away from the topic in order to avoid them going back into the usual spinning.
Yes, yes.
So we actually did not talk about how he's feeling now because I did
Gotcha.
not want him to go back into it was so fresh still, right? If
Mhm.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. And in theta healing, they also say it takes 2 nights until you fully process. I reinforced what we did, let's put it like that, or I restated on a conscious level what we did so that he has a
Yes.
rational reference on what happened in the session.
Yes, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah. It was a
Right.
2 hour process. Oh.
And good job. Kudos to you. I know that those,
Thank you.
something that I don't know that we've actually talked about on here anyway is the amount of energy that as practitioners we are expending. It's not just, conversation. It's we are holding space and doing energetic work, and it does. I don't want to say takes a toll, but um it's a muscle that needs to be exercised and respected. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the work itself, the healing part, the clearance part, the working on a client part, I think that should not cost energy. Else you would be like a shaman or so who has a contract with someone so that you need to give something in order to receive.
Sure, sure.
So yeah, I think on the plane we are working, there should be an energetic exchange, yes, with the client, but the healing itself should feel easy. But still, holding the space for someone and shaping a session,
Mhm.
that's an art form and that's work.
Yes, yes, that's true. Ah.
Yeah,
Well, so
yeah.
what's next for you the next few weeks? What does that hold in store?
I think just continue. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
On the personal side, I'm moving to a new apartment end of the week, so that will keep me, as you know, I mean, the new apartment is only 3 kilometers away, so 5 minutes by car, but still, until you're settled, until, yeah, everything found its place again, until the fridge is full again, because now I'm eating the fridge empty, so I don't have to move everything, all those little things, right? So I think that will take 2 weeks realistically. And I
Yeah.
want to be kind with myself and not stress myself too much. And yeah, then let's see what happens.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a lot. It might sound like a little on the surface, but moving takes a lot. Yes. Getting all
Yeah.
settled. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you?
The big thing for me really is just like I talked about, just like really gearing up and getting all of the things together that I need for the Theorafa training in June. Yeah, last time I thought about it, it was months away, and now it's like it's weeks away. But I'm very very excited about it. Again, it's the first time it's ever been offered online, so it'll be cool.
So will you do the entire course or will you contribute a module?
Yeah, so no, it's me the entire course of phase one. So it's the
Ah,
entirety of the training is just phase one right now, but it's my show. It's been it's just a huge blessing. The individual who created this modality has really just gifted it to me, and I give her a certain percentage, and she just said, "Run with it." So I'm really excited. I used to be a corporate trainer in like my former existence, right? Years ago. And I have a teacher's heart. So it's right in my wheelhouse. I'm passionate about it. I'm excited about it. So it'll be really good.
wow, really cool.
Yeah.
Fantastic, Kim.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how do we feel? Do we want to wrap it up for today?
You know what? I've got plenty of things on my plate. So unless there's anything else that you're feeling a burning desire we need to chat about, then I think we're good.
I think we're ready, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you, Patricia. Bye.
Bye.